Hey YouTube, welcome back to part 2 of the Minuteman series. So tactics, obviously you'd want to have various types of continuum of force and tactics to be appropriate for this situation. I mean, we're not law enforcement in this situation, and we're not firemen or EMS or paramedics, and we're not any of these kind of people. We may have a background in that, but we're not going to be in that role. We're kind of be more like local patrols or the neighborhood watch, if you will. Now, in terms of tactics, you're going to have a variety of hand-to-hand combative knowledge, de-escalation skills, firearm training, definitely in conjunction with others, and when you're solo, and the ability, of course, to patch yourself up if you get wounded, and know how to call for help, and know when to go into a situation and know when to just stay back. Because if you're over your head, there's no reason to be another casualty or another victim. So in terms of tactics, what kind of things are we talking about here? Even though the police departments will say, leave room clearing to them, there are some cases that when the police just don't get there quick enough, and you have children that may be kidnapped or maybe being actually killed, we can't sit around and just let, and watch people murder other people. So in the worst and gravest of conditions, you may have to go room to room in a house to search for kids or to recover a downed person in a very hostile situation, just to preserve their life and to continue, continuity of life. So in those situations, you may want to go, and a lot of police departments, in various cities, especially in larger municipal cities, they will actually offer you, and I don't know if it's free or not, they just depend on the city, but a lot of places, believe it or not, have a civilian police academy. A lot of people don't know about this, but there's a lot of them that do. You can actually go through that academy and learn almost everything that the police officer does, especially even the legal part of it, tactics and everything. I mean, it's very, very cool. Of course, you're not going to be deputized or sworn in as an officer at the end, but you will get like a certification or diploma, depending on what they call it. And that's going to be really a great way to meet other officers, instructors, get a lot of training. And I mean, wow. Because you could even buddy up with maybe SWAT, people, officers that are in the SWAT, Special Weapons and Tactics, and maybe even learn even more than what the academy could even give you. So that is certainly one thing to do. There's some security outfits that are very high end. Some places like, for example, there's some companies that guard like nuclear facilities and things like that. Now, if you have a job with them, you could use those tactics and things that you've learned through work. Especially if you're ex-military, you already have an upper an upper kind of level of knowledge that you could share with other people. Maybe you could be the trainer and the facilitator for your local community. So it's not always that you have to go and seek more information. Maybe you already have the tactics. Maybe you can just be the one that shares it locally and devise a plan. That's why a lot of the prepper groups have a leader, and they have someone that has extensive knowledge. Typically, it's ex-law enforcement or ex-military, typically. And these people are very patriotic, and they want everybody to be safe. And they don't want to have to depend on local authorities 100% of the time, because statistically it's shown that they usually get there late and after the event. And so that's just kind of a loadout right there, and a layout of an ideology that you want to have maybe a group of people that are like-minded. You don't want anybody acting like Rambo in your group. You don't want anybody to be big-headed and doing things because they want to be a hero. You want people there for the right reason, and the right reason is to help others, and reduce suffering and to save people's lives within the law, though, because we're not going to be, fronting like and acting like we're police officers or something. So, in the next part here, we'll be talking about the actual loadout of gear. I will admit it's my favorite part of this series. I like the gear part. So stay tuned to part 3, and we'll talk about gear loadouts for the Minuteman.